All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out today. Getting that first win on Saturday felt really good. I won't lie to you about that. So proud of our players and coaches, the way they stayed in this, the way they kept fighting, the way they kept preparing. And really to see them rewarded with that victory locker room after the game, that winning locker room, made it all worth it for a lot of things that we do in this program. I think what I said after the game, I mean also, I think in 2019 it's very hard to get a group of men to stay together and to keep fighting with all the outside things going on, with all the things that maybe they hear on social media or from their own families, and these guys never blinked. They just kept fighting, kept listening to their coaches, kept trusting their coaches, and we saw the results of that on Saturday night. And after watching the film, I thought we played with a ton of juice. I thought our sideline was up. I thought kids were having fun playing our game. And a lot of really good things. And it started on the first play of the game when they complete a slant and Trayton DeVone strips the ball out, end up getting a couple first downs. Chris Barnes hits through the pipes for a career-long field goal. And then a couple things just start steamrolling. And you really saw good production in all three phases in that first half. Really pleased with how that went. I thought the offense exploded. I thought Tom threw some great balls. Really efficient, 18 of 23, made good decisions, and gave Bradley Rosner a chance. And that's who both of those guys were coming into this program. That's what Tom Stewart did at Harvard. He gave people a chance down the field, and they made plays for him. That's what Bradley Rosner was when he led junior college football last year. So it's nice to see them in this system, in this format, really making those plays. So big things, and I think it's just really just a foreshadow of what's to come. Again, you look at guys who have been in the program for a long time. Aston Walter stepping up, having a 34-yard touchdown run, and more than that, having the 25-yard run on 3rd and 11 to really take 2 more minutes off the clock and a 4-minute drill. Just big stuff. The second half, obviously a few things we want to correct, and that's great. It's great to have those when you have a winning locker room. You can come in here in a good mood on Monday and still talk about all the things that we need to correct and how the process doesn't change. Now we can look at our kids and say, guys, look, treat victory and defeat as the imposters that they are. And just keep working. Keep working, keep trusting, keep going. And that's what we did. We had a great practice yesterday morning. But again, talking about that game in the second half, finding a way to win. Didn't do too many things completely different than we've done all year. Scored a lot of points in the first half because of the offense, defense, and special teams all playing together. And then found a way to make one play more than the other team as the game went on, and beat a great program, a team that I have so much respect for, and the way Coach Stockstill coaches them, the fact that they've been to a bowl 8 straight years going into this season, just meant a lot. We know that we got 2 games remaining in this season. We're excited about those games, can't wait to play them, but we're going to take it minute by minute, hour by hour, and we're going to prepare the right way. We'll talk about North Texas in just a second. Our players of the game on defense, Antonio Montero, George Nyakwal, both of those are co-defensive players. Offensive players of the game are Aston Walters and, of course, Bradley Rosner. And our special teams player of the game is Deshaun Ellerby, who, if you watch those kickoff returns, they gave our sideline a ton of juice, a ton of life. He had 3 returns for 88 yards, and including the way he finished on the last one, really fed his pads to number 3 coming up on the sideline. So really proud of all those guys. And those are guys that have stayed the course. Antonio led us in tackles with 8. George had 7 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, and a PBU that was just violent. Put his hat right on the ball, separated the ball from the receiver. So big time stuff going on across the board, and I'm glad we can celebrate those players of the week. The next challenge is, of course, North Texas, and this team requires our full attention. We know what that program is all about. I have so much respect for Coach Seth Luttrell, the way he prepares them, the mindset he gets those guys into, his knowledge of our game. And I've said it before, we're going to do everything we can to beat him on the field, but there is absolutely nothing I can do to beat him in a bench press contest. So, guys, there's no chance there. But anyway, we're going to keep working and get ready for this team. When you watch the film, it's not too much different from last year in terms of the talented guys they have on the field. Bringing back number 1, slot receiver, bringing back 15, carrying the ball in the backfield, and of course, the Conference Player of the Year, Mason Fine. And we're going to prepare for him. I know he's been a little bit banged up, but we're going to prepare for him because we think he's as good as he gets in this conference. And, some of the things that they're able to do in the air raid with Mason in there, some of the empty set passing game they are able to do. We're going to be completely prepared for it. Now, our offense, we've got to be ready for a defense that's going to fly around. They're not one of the bigger defenses in the league, but they play with their hair on fire, and they're going to be everywhere. They really close down gaps by their numbers. You're going to have safeties that are lined up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and they're going to be very, very active. So we're going to be prepared for that. We've got to do a great job protecting the football, like we always talk about, and we got to make plays, like we did in the last game, and then we'll have an opportunity to light up the scoreboard. Be a great test for our team. Coming off a win, we're a confident bunch right now in terms of believing in what we're doing, being so close, and then again having a little success right there is great for this team, the mood of this team. We're going to go out there and play our hearts out for the 19 seniors that will be represented at Senior Day on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun seeing those guys in pregame. And because that group of men has been so impactful in our building. They're an eclectic group, if you will. You know, we got 4th-year seniors, 5th-year seniors, 6th-year seniors, and 7 grad transfers in that mix. So it's a group that's come together, and they've all made a decision to try to make this place better than it was when they got here. And they are fighting to do that day in and day out, and I really appreciate the impact that they've had. With that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Coach, where do you think this past game, this win, ranks among the complete games that y'all have played in your tenure?
Oh, I think it's the best half of football we played in the first half. I would say that clearly. The fact that we found a way to win, I guess it ranks it up there in the top 3. But yeah, I mean, it was great to get a win. It's great for the kids more than anything else.
You said that so much. It's great for the kids. It's great for the kids. But I mean, I think this was your first road win here at Rice. First of the season overall. What did it mean to you specifically? Was it a little elite or what did you use to describe it?
I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say there was some form of a monkey coming off my back when that scoreboard hit 0-0-0. But I just, again, I believe so much in the process, and I'm so appreciative of the way these guys and these coaches have worked. That really, I think it's all about them.
What was going through your head on that last play? You'd gotten the ball back to them with 20 seconds, and then they broke out the schoolyard play, maybe a little bit closer than they had to. They had a couple seconds left on the clock as you watched them run up the field and start throwing it around.
Yeah, it was the one time on Saturday that I appreciated seeing a piece of laundry come on the field. You know, when that yellow flag came out, I pretty much knew what that was because I was kind of standing in line with the throw. That was a little bit of a relief.
And then on the penalty front, y'all been one of the, if not the most least penalized team in the nation. You had one drive where it seemed they only got down the field because of very inopportune flags.
Yeah, gifts on 3rd and 4th down, right? They absolutely kept the drive alive, and ultimately it ended with a touchdown. I was frustrated to have those 3 flags on that drive. I was frustrated to have 7 flags in a game. That's not the discipline we want to play with. That's not who we want to be. You know, watching them on tape, obviously, it's, all penalties are not black and white, as we know. And there was a time in the game when I reminded the White Hat that we didn't only lead Conference USA in being the least penalized team, but we led the nation. And I would appreciate if he would remind his crew of that. We played pretty clean.
And then you mentioned those seniors. I wanted to ask you about Aston Walter and that big run and just what he's meant to this program over this past year and several years.
Yeah, I think Aston really changed his mindset when he flipped the switch and said, I'm coming back for my 6th year. I think in the way he prepared in the summer with Coach Hans to the leadership role he's taken. And I just think that there's nothing we could have done better than put the ball in his stomach with the game on the line on 3rd and 11. And there's a great shot of the line getting a great push to the left, really getting out on the zone. Then you see Brian Chafin, a grad transfer senior, get up to the 2nd level and take that linebacker. You see Justin Gooseberry with a great cutoff. And then one of the few underclassmen in the picture is Jager Bull, runs in and gets a great shot on the safety that allows Aston to bend it back. And so it's Tom Stewart, I think the other back was Charlie Booker, and Aston. And so you just see all these guys that have been injected into our program and have been completely bought in, part of that play that really couldn't have been bigger in that game. The difference between giving the ball back to him with 2.5 minutes versus the, I think, 16 seconds they ended up with when they finally got possession back in the 4th quarter. But yeah, Aston's been spectacular. We trust him with everything.
I know coaches have have talked about taking things week by week, but was there anything about Tom's performance that maybe makes your decision with Giovanni a little easier? Does it change how you're going to
Oh, I think, look, we just needed Tom not to have a body of a 70-year-old for a week. When Tom's been healthy, he's been productive. We've trusted him. He's done great things in games. So again, like it was really like, hey, yeah, Coach Mack, so supposedly somebody will be healthy enough to play quarterback. And we'll figure out who that is as the week goes on. And honestly, probably thought we'd have both available last week. We just had Tom on game day. Again, he played a great game, so he has our trust. As long as he can get out of bed in the morning, then he'll be the guy that's in there starting this game for us.
Like you said, you're preparing for Mason Fine to play. Do you have to have a separate defensive scheme ready in case it doesn't play or goes out during the game?
I don't know how much the game plan will change with Jason Bean if number 5 ends up coming in the game. They've done very similar things in the games he's come into. Again, their playmakers aren't going to change. I mean, it's going to be about 15-1, and maybe it'll be a little bit more quarterback-driven run. But one thing that they seem to have done more of in this year, not stepping away from the air raid, but more run-pass option stuff than I remember them doing in last year's film. And so again, I don't think it matters which quarterback's in for that.
Coach, are there any players you're looking to integrate into the offense in the last 2 games? Looking forward into next season?
Yeah, not really anybody that hasn't played much. Juwan King has earned the right to get on the field. He started on punt pressure last week and did a great job. For us, right now, we know that we have Giovanni. We have 1 game left for Giovanni to preserve his red shirt and 1 left for Juma to preserve his red shirt for his second year. And so we'll be smart about those, and a lot of it's going to come down to when those guys are healthy enough to contribute and help our team.
You obviously probably wouldn't want to think of the program or have people think of the program as a bottom feeder, especially in Conference USA. So North Texas and then UTEP left. How important is it to maybe pass a team or 2 in the Conference USA West?
Yeah, I think everything's just about progress, and that's the way we can see tangible progress is wins, no matter who it's over. North Texas is a team in state that we're always going to have a recruit or 2 in each class that we're going head-to-head with them at. And we feel we got a lot of things to offer on this campus that differentiate us, but certainly if you're winning the game on the field too, it probably makes it really easy for those recruits to jump on board.
Middle Tennessee, first time in program history that Rice has been mentioned of, but North Texas, you mentioned a rivalry, and last year was a 3-point game in the 4th quarter. Does anything carry over from how close and what you're able to do in that game to this game?
I think just the confidence with our coaching staff that, look, we don't have to do anything outside of ourselves. We just have to play good football. And if we can get it, we're so different. Like, if you watch our defensive film from last year in that game compared to our defensive film now, it's night and day in terms of who we are as a football team. We had a big play. If you remember the second half kickoff, last year we had Matt Sams go down there and put his hat on the ball and got a turnover there that helped us immensely to stay in that position. But first drive of the game, we went down and scored last year. Had hit the flea flicker on that drive and then had his own read touchdown with Wiley. So,
Mike, was there a different field of practice this day coming off of that?
It's hard to believe, but there was almost a different feel all of last week. Like we were really juiced up, and again, I just think that's so hard to do. And these kids just kept bringing it. Coaches demanded it. Kids brought it, answered the bell. I couldn't believe how much fun we had at practice working last week, and I don't expect that to change this week either.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank y'all very much.
Tom?